today's video is going to be my April favorites. I say this every single month, but I cannot believe it's May already. Where is this year going? Like, Mother's Day is literally next weekend. Like, I feel like time slowed down a little bit when I was quarantining back in the end of March. I cannot believe that was already a month ago. It feels like a century ago, but at the same time, it doesn't. But the last time I filmed a favorites video, I was really sick and stuck in quarantine. So I'm just really glad that I made it to this month. And I'm just really grateful that me and my boyfriend were able to recover at home. So let's go ahead and jump into the products I've been loving this month. Okay, so we're going to start out with eyeshadow palettes. I have a couple to talk about. So the first one is my most recent one that I've been using quite a bit since I've gotten it. I'm wearing it on my eyes today, and that is the Melt Cosmetics Mary Jane palette. So this is my newest, most recent palette to my collection, and I have been using it quite a bit. I know it's been getting kind of like some mixed reviews, but I really love it. I've always loved Melt's palettes. They do kind of take a little bit of a learning curve to work with the formula, but this one's not a bad palette to work with. If you know the Melt formula, it's pretty much going to be like the typical formula that if you use Melt, it's going to be the typical formula that you're used to if you've worked with Melt shadows before. And I just wanted to show you that it has like that really cool glittery packaging, like crystals, and it's just so cool. And then when you open it up, this is what the palette looks like, and it comes with 4 mattes and 6 shimmers. I actually thought this palette had too many shimmers for my taste. I kind of like was hoping that there was going to be like a couple more mattes in the palette, like maybe like 5 mattes or even 6 mattes and 4 shimmers would have worked for me just fine. Because honestly, I don't think you need every single shimmer in this palette, but at the same time, each of the shimmers are different. Like, Bomba and Santa Maria look very similar, but Bomba has more of like a very gray, smoky shimmer to it, and then Santa Maria is more of like a brownish silver. So they are different, but I feel like besides Sweet Lucy and Beau, like Mary Jane and Callie are pretty similar, and then Santa Maria and Bomba. Like Sweet Lucy's like a bronze color, and then Beau is like a really pretty like bronzy brown. So just want to show you guys what it looks like. But it is really pretty. The shimmers are a little bit hard to work with, but with Melt palettes, they are kind of difficult to work with sometimes. But again, I feel like if you start out with one of the base palettes, like especially this one or like the Rust palette, and you get used to their formula, but at the same time, Melt is an expensive brand, so like if you want to try a Melt palette, you're going to invest in probably one that you've been eyeing for a long time, but it does take a little bit of, finessing to work with Melt's formula. I find that I don't really have any problems working with their formula. I always think their formula is so pigmented and so easy to work with for me. The shades pretty much blend themselves because they're so damn pigmented. And you kind of need to use like a light hand when you go in with the matte. So I am wearing it today. I used the shade Mari in my crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Gaspar. And then I use this shade on my outer corners every single time, which is called Sintamilla. And then on the lid, I'm wearing the signature shade, which is Mary Jane. And then I just put on Hear Me Out and Vanilla Bean on my brow bone. And then I put Callie all over the inner corners. Now, the only thing I will say is that I really like using this palette, and I actually think the shimmers perform really beautifully on the lid. They're really sparkly, in your face shimmers. Like, they're very like pretty, like evening like type of shimmer shades. Like, they're very glittery, very beautiful on the lid. So I really like them. I have tried all the shimmers and I really like all of them. With the mattes, I thought that I was gonna have to like dip into other palettes to get like, like a different matte, because I thought that these just weren't enough mattes to work with in this palette. But honestly, these mattes work so beautifully with all the shades in this palette, and I kind of saw that like the Fancy Face broke it down like that you could use these four together. Really, really pretty look. Like that neutralish kind of color. And then you can use like these tones together, like to do like a smoky kind of look. And then on the end, you have like these bronzy toned yellowy shades that you could use to make a look that way. For me, I just like use the shades that I feel like are going to go together the best. So I'm just going to swatch a couple of them and then we will move on. I'm only going to swatch a few. So this one is Santa Maria. This one is Sweet Lucy. And this one is Rubia. I'm probably wrong about that. But let's see. Again, Sweet Lucy is probably the most piecey shade. This one's Bomba, I mean, not Santa Maria. That one's Sweet Lucy and that one is Rubia. See how smooth the mattes are? Sweet Lucy is very, very... I would say Sweet Lucy is probably the hardest one to work with because I experienced a lot of fallout when I use it. I thought I had a tissue here, but I guess not. But the mattes are super smooth. Typical matte formula that I love from Melt. I find for the shimmer shades that I want to use in the inner corners, which is usually Cali or Mary Jane, they are very piecey, so you have to spray them in order to get pigmentation on the inner corners, or they're kind of going to cause fallout. But they're really beautiful on the lid, so I have been really enjoying this palette. So that's the first palette, and then the next one, which I've been using a ton this month as well. If I could find a tissue, I mean, I forgot that I have a tissue box in here now, but I thought I had it on my desk. The other one that I've been loving is the ColourPop and Lizzie McGuire What Dreams Are Made Of eyeshadow palette. Of course, I was going to talk about this palette in this video. And it's funny because, like, these two palettes, like, came out around the month of April, but they're two, like, completely different, like, color stories and, like, complete opposite ends of the color spectrum when it comes to like spring palettes. But this one I feel like, this one I feel like is like a really beautiful, easy spring palette to use. I just did a 3 looks 1 palette with this palette to show you guys like some looks that I wanted to create with this palette. But look at this color story. It's so pretty, and I feel like this is so Lizzie McGuire. Like, I think that they nailed it with the color story. I feel like these colors work with each other. I was kind of hoping they would have at least one more like peachy matte shade in here. But other than that, or like maybe like a darker green. So you could use like, you know, this shade a little bit more, like more than just like these two lime green shades in here. I wish there was like another green in here, maybe replace one of the other shades. But at the same time, like maybe would have like replaced this matte, this pressed glitter with like a matte green. But other than that, I feel like that the shades work really well together. Like this can be a really easy like 3 shadow look with just this shade in the crease, this on the lid, and this on the inner corners. And then we have like these peachy tones that we could put together, like this peachy matte, and this like, this is actually way more peach when you put it on your eyes, and it actually looks in the pan, and it's a really, really pretty like base shade that I use with a lot of the looks that I do with this palette. And then we have like these peachy shimmery shades, which are so pretty. I do like an easy like 4 shadow look with these shades that I show you guys in my 3 looks 1 palette video. And then I used like the pinks and the greens together, which was a really pretty look. And then I used like the purples and the oranges. I just wanted to show you guys, like, if you were kind of feeling like this was a bit overwhelming with the colors, like how to use them. And I think that it's a really easy, like colorful palette for the spring, and I feel like it's like, you know, an easy palette for a lot of people to use, and they don't have to feel intimidated by color, because I feel like this is kind of like a pastel muted way to incorporate color if you like want to start playing with color in your looks. So I just really like this palette. I think it's so pretty. My favorite shade is Bye-Bye. It's such a gorgeous shimmer. And then this shade, Digital Bean, is actually a stunning purple, but they're really, really pretty. So this one is Audi, this one is Bye-Bye, and this one is Digital Bean. So I'm not going to swatch all of them. I actually swatch all of these in my first impressions on the entire Lizzie McGuire collection, because I did end up picking up the whole collection. I didn't keep everything. I only kept the palette, the 2 blushes, and one of the lip gloss sets, and I gave the other lip gloss set to my friend. But I really have been enjoying this. I think the formula is solid in this one of ColourPop's better formulated palettes. I feel like that their formula just gets better and better over time, but I do find across the board that the 12 pan formula is usually the best, and the 15 pan formula is pretty damn good as well. But the 12 pan formula has always been like one of the best. I think that this is my first 12 pan that I picked up from them since the Sweet Talk palette, but I didn't care what colors were in this palette. I was picking it up. But if you guys want to see more looks with it or my full thoughts on the entire collection, you can go check those 2 videos out that I mentioned. So yeah, I've been loving that one. And then I also have 2 more palettes. I also ended up picking up this palette last month, and I was pretty impressed with the quality of this. And I got this at Nordstrom Rack, and this is the Bobbi Brown High Bar Eyeshadow Palette. And I got it because it was a really good deal, and I've kind of been wanting to try a palette from Bobbi Brown for a while at this point. And I just thought that this would be a pretty good palette to try out. So it comes with 12 shades, and it comes with like this warm toned row and then this kind of like pinky gold kind of row. And you guys know that these are like typical shades that I love wearing on an everyday basis. Like it comes with a gold, it comes with some pinks, it comes with some warm tones, which you guys know are like my favorite shades to wear. But these are actually really, really beautiful. The shimmer shades are really pretty, and the mattes actually blend really nice and very richly, not super richly pigmented, but pigmented enough that I would say that this is a really good palette. I actually really did enjoy the looks that I created with this palette. The shades are a bit stiff when you swatch them. Like they're not the softest things in the world, but they blend really beautifully. So here's some of the mattes for you guys. And there's one of the shimmer shades. And I just thought it was such a pretty palette. So I'm really glad that I picked this guy up. And I was enjoying this quite a bit last month. I do want to get some more use out of it, so I'm probably going to keep this one out in my on my desk now, because I finally decided to buy like a couple of bins for like the things that I use on a daily basis, and it's made everything so much easier to use. So I'm probably going to stick this one in there too. So yeah, I really was enjoying that palette as well. Really, really beautiful. The shimmers are so pretty as well. Kind of similar to the shimmers in the Melt Mary Jane palette. Very sparkly, beautiful shimmers. Perfect for like going out at night. And then the last palette I wanted to talk about is I finally just incorporated this palette into my spring rotation, because I'm trying to rotate like 10 to 15 palettes per season now, and I really want to make like a spring palettes video, like how Allie Brienne does on her channel, where she like shares like the palettes that she concentrates on per season. And I feel like that's a better way to like get more use out of a certain palette or certain palettes that you really want to focus on. So I kind of wanted to do that video as well, but this was definitely one of them that I wanted to rotate in my spring rotation, and that is the Alamar Spanglish palette. And this one was gifted to me by my dear friend Riri here on YouTube, aka The Brutally Honest Beauty, and it comes with 8 beautiful shades. It comes with 4 shimmers and 4 mattes. Now, I really love the quality of this palette. The quality of this palette is beautiful. I just wish that it had like a different shade in here instead of like this cool toned brown. I'm not like obsessed with this color. I feel like if they put like a matte purple in this palette, I feel like it would have been perfect. Because like these 4 shades go together so pretty. They create such a pretty look. But I also don't understand why this pink is in here when we have some purples and orangey like red shimmers. That I don't know why they put this pink in here, but it does make more sense to like have more fun with your looks to have this pink in here. And this pink is fabulous. Like these mattes are beautiful, and the shimmers just are so pretty on the lid. But I kind of wish if there was like a purple in this palette, it would kind of inspire me to use this palette a little bit more. But again, this is a really easy like everyday spring palette, like really easy 3 shadow, 4 shadow looks. The same thing with the Lizzie McGuire palette. So I feel like these are really pretty easy palettes to use for spring. But this palette is beautiful. I love the shimmers in here. They're so stunning. The formula is top notch. And then the mattes are also beautiful. Like the mattes just blend beautifully as well. I just want to swatch a couple of them for you. And then the orange is really pretty as well. So this one is Tiene Swing. Then we have Pero Like. Then we have IK Cute and Muy Excited. Just super smooth, beautiful formula. If you've never tried Alamar, I highly suggest it if you've been like on the fence about trying their formula. It's amazing. I really, really highly recommend trying it out if you guys were actually interested in trying it. So yeah. Okay, then we're going to talk about liners and some mascaras. So basically the liners that I've been loving this past month, let me just grab them for you guys, are the Marc Jacobs gel liners, and I have 4 shades to talk about. Honestly, the purple I love too, but I haven't really been using it too much because I haven't really had the opportunity to wear it too often. But out of the shades that I wear the most would be the 2 brown shades, of course, and then the black. Oh my god, the black is so black and it lasts so well on the waterline, and then this blue is so beautiful. So the 2 browns are Brownie and Earthquake. I originally picked up the brownie shade along with the black, and then I saw that, is that the right shade? Yeah, the shade Brownie is more of like a warm toned brown, but then I saw that they also had a deeper brown available, so I ended up picking up that shade as well, which is this one here. And this one is called Earthquake, and this one's like a deeper brown. And I wear this one so much. I wear both of them so often. Like I wear them at least 2 to 3 times a week because they're so easy to wear. I'm wearing the shade Earthquake today, and I love wearing this shade with the Melt palette to have like those cooler, with the cooler tones that I like. I like more of like a deeper brown with like warmer tone looks. I like using the warm toned brown. So they're both fabulous. Go on the waterline so well. Excuse me, they go on really pigmented and they just glide on, and they are so nice to work with. And then the other 2 shades, the black is called, oh my god, Blacker, and this is stunning, so black and easy to work with. I love the black shade right here. Sorry, that's one of my reminders. So that one is the black, and then the last shade is the blue. I've only used this one a couple of times. I probably should have used it today. It would have been really pretty with my shirt, but then I just ended up going with the brown. But this is such a gorgeous blue. I love popping this on when I wear, like, you know, orangey blue looks to work. I pop this on the waterline and it's so pretty. So those are the liners that I've been loving. And then I just want to mention 2 eye primers before I forget. The first one is the Marc Jacobs Undercover Perfecting Coconut Eye Primer. So I've been using this for like my everyday looks, and I love this primer. It's just so easy to work with. It just basically blends into the skin so easily on your eyes, and I find that it makes my eyeshadows go on so easily. I don't know about the lastability about this, to be honest, but I really like how it makes my eyeshadows look, and I've been loving that. And then the other one is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. I did pick this up like at some point last month as well, and I'm actually using this one today, and it's just like one of the best like original eye bases, because like Urban Decay was also, I feel like, one of the first that came out with like eye primers besides like Smashbox, I feel like, and those were like the only 2 I used to use. But I was really glad that I picked this up again, and this is like one of the top eyeshadow primers as well still at Sephora, and it's such a good primer, so I'm glad that I got that too. Okay, and then we're just going to talk about a couple of mascaras that I've been loving this month. So the first one, of course, is the Gucci mascara that I picked up during the sale. I actually really love this. It makes your lashes really separated and really long. It doesn't have as much curl as it does length, but it makes your lashes look so long and pretty. And I've been using this every chance I get when I work because it's an expensive mascara, but I actually really love it. It's a really, really nice mascara. So I've been loving that one. And then the one I'm wearing today is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Clean Mascara. Also been loving this one too. Really easy mascara to wear on an everyday basis. It gives you really nice curl and volume to your lashes. So I always end up loving CoverGirl mascaras. And then this one is really good too. At first I wasn't sure if I really liked this one, and now I really like it. So this is the Ilia After Midnight Limitless Lash Mascara. This is actually a really, really nice mascara as well. It gives your lashes really nice natural volume and length. I wouldn't say, again, that these mascaras are necessarily that curling, but they give me the like length that I want, because this is called Limitless Lash, so you kind of expect it to give you a lot of length, and it definitely does that. So this is a really nice mascara as well. And that's pretty much it for the ones I've been loving this month. I'm trying not to overwhelm myself by getting too many mascaras. I've also been liking the Sky High one, the regular one. And yeah, so that's it for mascaras. Now let's move on to complexion products. I didn't pick up any new primers this month, but I just wanted to say that I have been loving the Milk Makeup Set and Refresh Spray. I use this all the time for work. It's such a hydrating spray. I really, really like it. So I've been using that. And then, of course, I've still been loving the NYX Marshmallow Primer. This is like my favorite primer to use on an everyday basis. It smells amazing. And then I've also been using my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Those are basically the only two that I've been rotating because I use the Milk one for work. And then my Catrice Fresh It Up Primer I've just been trying to use up. So now let's move on to a couple of complexion products. So let's start with base. So the one that I have been absolutely loving, and I think a lot of people have been loving this product, is the Fenty Beauty Easy Drop Blurring Skin Tint. And this is what it looks like. So, and this one's in the shade 1. And this is such a beautiful product on the skin, you guys. All right, my boyfriend was texting me, but this is a really beautiful skin product. I know some people say it doesn't really last on the skin that long, but honestly, like, it looks so beautiful when you apply it. I'm wearing it today, and it just blurs your skin, and it looks so natural and beautiful on the skin, and I absolutely love this. It's so weightless. You don't even feel it on your skin, and it gives you coverage, but still looks so beautiful and natural on the skin. It just looks so skin-like. This is definitely my favorite complexion product from Fenty that I've ever tried. I did not like the first foundation because it was way too full coverage for me and too matte, and that's not, my dry skin hates that kind of foundation. And then the hydrating foundation, I like it, but I expected it to be a little bit more dewy than it actually was. It's good. It's not like my favorite foundation, but this is her best complexion product she's came out with, and a lot of people are saying that about this one. And I got convinced to get this, I think, because of Angelica Nyquist, and she also convinced me to get the next product I'm going to talk about. I've just been loving her channel, but this is beautiful. Highly recommend it. A lot of people are talking about it for a reason. It makes your skin look stunning. I think that this is a dry skin girl's dream, but I also think it might work for oily skin as well because it has a pretty natural matte finish. Like, it's not really dewy at all. So I think that this will work for a lot of different skin types. So I love this so much. And then the other one is the Becca Light Shifter Dewing Tint in the shade Luminary 1. I know a lot of people have been hesitant to pick up Becca products this year because they are going to be going out of business at the end of the summer in September 2021. And for me, I just genuinely, I only really repurchase a complexion product if I really, really love it or I know that I'm going to use it a lot. This I wanted to get as like a summertime tinted moisturizer, and it's very, very dewy and it's beautiful on the skin. It looks the best after you set it. Like, I was doubtful when I used it the first couple of times because it's so dewy and like barely provides coverage when you put it on initially. I'm like, damn, I look like a grease ball. And then once you put your concealer on and powder your face, it makes your skin look so beautiful. The only thing is that I wish that this shade was a little bit lighter, because if I blend it down to my neck, it kind of like is a bit orange. It's not exactly really that orange on my face because it kind of blends in to my skin, but it looks kind of orange on the neck. But this is the lightest shade that they have. Like, this might be a good product for me to mix as like a like dewy foundation to like add some more shine to like my, like maybe like mix these two together, the Fenty Beauty Skin Tint and this one, because this one make it more dewy. But at the same time, I really like wearing this on its own because it's a really lightweight product and it's really pretty on the skin. So you just have to like work with it with the way that was like best fits you. But I do really like it and it looks beautiful once it's set, but I feel like you have to set this product. Like, you can't really wear it just like on its own unless you want like a super glowy beach vibe on your face. So yeah, but it's really beautiful. I really like it. And then the last product, the last foundation, I haven't hauled this yet, but I really wanted to share it in this video because I actually have been loving it. And this one is the Beauty Blender Bounce Liquid Whip Longwear Foundation, and I got mine in the shade 1.00C. And this is actually really beautiful on the skin. I got this at Marshall's, and I wasn't planning on picking up like a foundation from Marshall's when I was there, but I saw these like when I was checking out, when I was waiting on the line to check out, and I was like, oh my god, they have this foundation there. This foundation got a lot of flack when it first came out, but I've used it a few times and it's actually really beautiful on the skin. It kind of reminds me of the Fenty Beauty Skin Tint. I feel like these have very similar formulas. This one just has a little bit more coverage. It does claim to be pretty full coverage, but honestly, I feel like I get a good medium coverage out of it, and that's exactly the kind of coverage that I like, and it's really beautiful on the skin. I was actually super impressed with this. I've only used it, I think, like 2 or 3 times, so I do want to play with it a little bit more, but I really like it on the skin. It's beautiful, so I can't wait to use that more. And then I have a couple of concealers. The first one and the newest one that I got was the Ilia True Skin Serum Concealer in the shade Mallow. I really like this concealer for everyday looks. It blends out really beautifully and easily on the skin, and I really, really like it. I think it looks really natural and pretty. It's not too much coverage. It blends out really beautifully on the face. Underneath the eyes, it does crease a little bit, but not too badly. I find that since I've been using one of the powders that I'm going to mention, it kind of like helps it not crease as much, because I've also been trying a couple of new concealers and new setting powders this month, because I noticed that my under eye concealer does crease very easily on me. So I've been trying to find like a concealer that works with a certain powder, or like is it the concealer that's creasing and not the powder that's making it crease. So, but this is really pretty on the skin. I really like that. I use that in my new Sephora Makeup Get Ready With Me that I just posted before this video. And then the other two, of course, is the Kosas Super Creamy and Brightening Concealer in the shade 0.5. These are pretty similar in formula. Both very, very creamy. I would say they're almost the same, to be honest. This one is very creamy, so easy to blend out, and it's so beautiful on the under eyes and on the skin. So I have been really enjoying this one still. This is still the only product that I've picked up from Kosas. I'm probably going to dive into the brand a little bit more, but for right now, I am on a strict no buy for the month of May because I went crazy last month, so I'm buying nothing this month. So, I did buy a couple of things, but I did exchange them at Ulta, and I did buy a backup of something that I needed. But other than that, your girl is done. So, but yeah, this is really beautiful as well. I really like that concealer. And then the last one is the Tarte C Hydro Sealer in the shade Porcelain Sand. You guys know I loved the original Rainforest of the Sea concealer, and this is the one that replaced it. It's not as water-based. It's actually a way drier formula than the Rainforest of the Sea one, but it's still a really, really nice concealer. I actually think it was a good replacement for it, and it's just like much more of like a dry formula. It's not like too dry, like where it dries like too quickly when like you apply it and try to blend it out, but it's not like really as water based as the Rainforest of the Sea one was. But it's really, really good, and I love using it with the coinciding foundation, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in my last favorites video. I love that foundation as well, but I pretty much have been using the Fenty Skin Tint more so this month than that one. Okay, only one pressed powder to talk about, but I'm so happy that I decided to pick this one up. I freaking love this powder so much. So this is the Dior. If you have dry skin, I feel like you need to get this powder. It makes your skin look so stunning, and it's completely weightless. So this one is the Dior Perfecting Translucent Powder Natural Radiant Blur Effect All Day Matte Finish in the shade Zero Neutral. So it says it's a matte powder, but don't be intimidated or afraid to try it because it says matte if you have dry skin, because it feels like nothing when you put it on. Sorry, excuse me. And then when you apply it, it's just like, it's like you're applying nothing, but it just like evens out your skin tone like so beautifully. I've been obsessed with this powder. I love it so much. Again, if you have dry skin, this is so gorgeous. And this is also less money than the Charlotte Tilbury or the Giorgio Armani, which are pretty much my two other favorite high-end powders for dry skin. This is like $38 or like $40, and those two are like $50 to $60. So, and I feel like you get more product in this too. But this is so freaking stunning on the skin. I have been absolutely loving this. This is like my favorite thing that I picked up from the sale besides the Fenty Beauty Skin Tint. And then I have two powders. The first one is the Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. I also haven't hauled this either, but I'm probably just going to post my haul tomorrow, maybe post my favorites video the day after, so I can just share this stuff with you guys and not feel guilty about not hauling it yet. This is also a really beautiful powder for every day. It honestly, these two powders that I've tried, they feel so weightless and like really not powdery at all, but they really like set your face beautifully, but they feel completely weightless. So I love this. I'm wearing it under my eyes today. I thought it was going to have more of like a water-based kind of feel to it because that's what they claimed it was supposed to do, but it doesn't really do that. But I don't know if it's just because it might have gotten dried out sitting in Marshall's, but I really like it. So I really like this powder. And then the other one, I wanted to pick up a new high-end powder because I haven't picked up a loose powder in a long time, and I actually just got rid of two loose powders that are kind of really old now. So I decided to pick up this one during the sale as well, and this is the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Setting Powder in the shade Light Medium 2. This is so, so beautiful. It feels like velvet. It feels like silky velvet. It feels so like nice on the skin, and again, not powdery at all. It just like kind of just blends into your skin like so beautifully, and you don't even feel like you're wearing powder. It's so, so pretty. So I'm so happy that I got this. And since it's more of like a skin tone color, not like too light, like translucent, this is actually her lightest shade, and I think it works really beautifully for fair skin as well. It might be a little dark for someone that's really fair. I mean, of course, I'm fair, but I like it because it's not too brightening. It just sets my under eyes, and it's so pretty, so I have been enjoying that too. Okay, and then the one and only bronzer that I've been absolutely obsessed with this month. Again, this is like my favorite products from the sale that I picked up as well. And this is the Gucci Bougie Gucci 01 bronzing powder. Oh my god, this bronzer is so freaking stunning on the skin, and this is what it looks like. Super bougie, but I just think this is such a pretty tone for me because it's kind of like a pinky cool tone color, but it also has a slight bit of warmth to it, but it's just so pretty, and it feels so silky and blends out beautifully on the skin. You guys know I love like super light buttery bronzers. I don't love like super pigmented bronzers for an everyday basis. This is gorgeous, but I've been using it for work a ton, and I love it. I highly recommend this. A lot of people were buzzing about this for like Sephora VIB sale recommendations, I would pick this up over the Tom Ford powder because it's literally like I think half the Tom Ford bronzer because it's half the price and you still get a discount on it. So I feel like it's a little bit of a better deal than the Tom Ford one. Okay, now we're going to talk about some blushes and highlights. So we have quite a few blushes and highlighters to talk about. So hopefully I grabbed all of them because I'm not really sure if I did. I don't know if I grabbed my other shade of... Okay, so let's talk about this guy first because I think this one is my favorite out of all the blushes that I've tried. This formula is fantastic. And this is the Love Sprung Artist Couture Face Blush Palette. And this is what it looks like. Oh my god. I was raving about this in my haul video, but I absolutely love this formula. It is so pigmented. All you have to do is like tap your brush in, but it's not like overly pigmented. It's just like pigmented enough that it like you blend it, like you swipe it like a few times and it looks so beautiful. Like these are super hella buttery too when you swatch them, and they're so beautiful on the face. I have been absolutely loving these. So that one is Baby Bloom and that one is Swoon In. Swoon In is like the perfect peach blush for me. And then Baby Bloom is like this beautiful pinky shade. Oh my god. If you were eyeing this, this is actually the first time that Artist Couture came out with blushes. Stunning. I highly recommend this. It's so freaking beautiful. So I've been loving this. And then the other powder formula that I've been loving, because I have a few cream blushes to share as well. The other powder formula that I really, really loved that I tried this month was the Kat Von D Everlasting Blushes. And I got them in two shades, Honeysuckle and Rosebud. Oh my god, Honeysuckle is such a perfect everyday shade. And again, these are super buttery soft. And they don't really swatch too well, but on the face, they are so pretty. So that one is Honeysuckle. Really beautiful, perfect everyday blush. And then the other one is called Rosebud. And this is pretty much Debbie's like favorite blush right now. And she uses it in almost like every single live. But it's such a beautiful, like, cool tone pinky shade, and it's right there. Again, doesn't swatch the greatest, but on the face, they're beautiful. And she basically convinced me to buy this because she uses it so much, but also because my childhood nickname was Rosebud, I would have just gotten Honeysuckle, but since this is my childhood nickname, I had to get this one too. So I got those, and those were a really great deal during the Sephora sale because they were... on sale plus the 20% off. So they were like $11 a piece. So they were a really good price. And then the other blush that I decided to get during the sale was the Dior Color Awakening Universal Blush in the shade 004 Coral. Oh my god, this is so pretty. I need to use this a little bit more often. I've only used it twice, but I definitely want to use it more, especially during the summertime. I love the embossing in it. And the shade is just such a gorgeous, like, peachy color, but I was hoping that this would have a little bit more pigmentation to it. It's not the most pigmented blush, and since it's like pretty much the most expensive blush that I picked up during the sale, I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit more pigmented. It's pretty, and I have been loving it, but I'd much prefer like using this one over this peach color out of those blushes. Okay, now let's go into some powder blushes. The first one, this is so pretty. Oh my god. This is the Patrick Ta for Face Double Take Cream and Powder Blush in the shade Do We Know Her. These are worth the hype. They really are. They're so pretty on the skin. I think that this cream blush formula is one of the best that I've tried. I mean, I love the Kaja and the Tower 28, but this one is really, really beautiful too. It's super pigmented. And the powder, it's so freaking soft and beautiful, but it's so super buttery. And the cream blush is beautiful. I really have been enjoying this as well. I've worn it a couple of times, and I prefer this peach color as well as compared to the Dior one too. But I just wanted to say that the cream blush is probably my favorite one I've tried this month out of the cream blushes that I tried. So that's the cream and that's the powder. The powder is so pretty by itself too. I've worn it by itself and it's such a beautiful shade. So I've definitely been loving this as well. Okay, so speaking of cream blushes, we have two more to talk about, and those are the Melt cream blushes. And I did get a couple of shades during the Sephora sale if I could hold it properly. So the first shade is called Sandy Cheeks, and this is one of the matte colors, and it's like a perfect everyday like peachy shade. We have a lot of blush to talk about this month because I kind of picked up a ton of blushes. So that one is Sandy Cheeks. They swatch so beautifully. And then the other one is the like shimmer version, and this one is called Lynx. And this one I bought because of Mary. This was the shade that she got during the sale, I think, or maybe it was during Melt's sale. I'm not sure if it was Sephora's or Melt's. And this is one of the shimmer versions, and it's much more of like a nudie tone color. I'm actually wearing this one on my face today. I like the Melt blushes. They're very pigmented, but they kind of like fade a little bit. So I still keep on forgetting to try these blushes without setting my face first. I keep on setting my face before I use these. So I really need to try to use them without setting my cheeks before I can give you guys like my full thoughts. But they are very pretty, and I think they are worth picking up at least one and trying it out. I think they're very pretty. So now let's move on to highlighters. So we're just going to start out with this duo first because I've been loving this. I just picked this up this past week, and I've used it twice already, and I love it. So this is the e.l.f. Bite Size Face Duo in the shade White Peach. This is so good, you guys. I would compare this to like the Love Sprung formula from Artist Couture. This blush is so good. It's super pigmented, and this little thing is like $4, and I think that these would be a really good thing for people to get if they don't want to spend too much money and get something that's like really pretty for like everyday wear. So that one is the blush. The blush is so pretty on the face. Let me just, get rid of some of these swatches because I feel like we're running out of room. And then the highlight is really pretty as well. It's like a duochrome, like peachy color. And it's really, really pretty. So it looks like that. And this is stunning as well. It's actually a really pretty highlighter. So I was very impressed with this. I was hearing really good things about the Bite Size duos and also the Bite Size eyeshadow palettes. So these are really good for the $3 or $4 price tag. These are beautiful. Speaking of inexpensive highlighters, I also really liked this one. And this one is the Catrice More Than Glow highlighter in the shade Supreme Rose Beam. And this is what it looks like. This is so pretty, you guys. It's super intense, but so beautiful. So that one is the Catrice one. I've never tried any Catrice highlighters, and I was so intrigued on trying this. Look how beautiful and intense that is. And it's so pretty on the face. And again, like $4. And I don't care about the super cheap packaging for both of these, because if the products are good, the packaging is decent enough when you only spend $4 on these. So really, really good as well. Loved that. And I also really liked this highlighter. This one is the Pretty Vulgar Shimmering Swan Glow Up Highlighter in the shade Shimmering Swan. This is so pretty on the skin. It's not like the greatest swatched, but it's really beautiful on the face. Like, I feel like these products, like, you can't really tell with swatches. I mean, that is so pretty. It's such a pretty, like, shimmery pink shade. So pretty on the face. How many times can I say so pretty? But I don't know what else to say. But I got this at Marshall's for a really good price. It was like $7. And I really love this on the skin. It's so pretty. Okay, like 4 more highlighters to talk about. And then the other one that I really liked that I picked up from Marshall's is another e.l.f. one, and this is the e.l.f. Multi-Dimensional Face and Body Shimmer in the shade Luna. This is actually really, really sparkly, but it's really pretty on the face, and this is what it looks like. It's kind of like a multi-dimensional color, and it's so pretty. I mean, it is a multi-dimensional highlighter. like it says, but it's actually really pretty. It is sparkly. It's right here, but it like is so pretty on the face. It like transforms, and it's like a peachy, like dual chrome, like whitish glittery highlight. It's so pretty. So I actually really like that too. And then now we're gonna go into a couple of the ones that I got from the Sephora sale, so they're a little bit more expensive. So this one is the Aether Beauty Supernova Crushed. So this is the Supernova Crushed Highlighter in the shade Diamond Dust, and I picked this up because of Tara Babes, and she like talked about this constantly, that I was like, I really want to try this out for myself at some point, and it's super pretty. I really like this on the skin as well, and that's what it looks like. It's a really pretty, like super sparkly highlight, but it's so pretty. I'm so glad that I picked that up. All right, I think I'm going to finish this later because I really need to get out of here. I only have a couple more products to talk about, but I think I'm going to just talk about them when I get home because I'm kind of getting really hungry for lunch. So bye. Hey guys, so I'm back from seeing my boyfriend, so I wanted to share with you guys the rest of the stuff I wanted to share, my favorites. So let's just go ahead and finish up the video. So I did have 2 other highlighters to talk about, and the first one is the Fenty Beauty Killawatt Freestyle Highlighter Duo in the shade Mean Money and Hustler Baby. This is really, really pretty. I actually really like this one. It's not too intense, but it has like a really pretty like honey tone to it, and it's so pretty on the cheeks. I put this one on the brush first, and then I mix it with the more intense shade, because with these, there's like one that's like more subtle, and then there's one that's like really intense and pretty. And this is really pretty on the skin. I've been wanting this shade from the Fenty Beauty highlighters for a while, and they're really pretty. So that is the duo. I might use this in my video tomorrow because that's like kind of the perfect tone that I'm looking for. I did pick up a crap ton of highlighters this month too, so, but this is really pretty. I've always liked Fenty Beauty's highlights, really pretty formula, and yeah. And then the other one is a super bougie one, but this is so pretty on the skin, and this is the Dior Skin Nude Luminizer in the shade 01 Nude Glow. This compact is a little bit difficult to open, but nothing too crazy, and this is what it looks like. I mean, packaging is literally to die for. It has like kind of like that, you know, super perfumey scent like most luxury products do, but it's so pretty. And that one is the Nude Glow from Dior. I just really have been wanting that, along with the Hustler Baby and Mean Money duo, and the blush from Dior for a long time, so I finally decided to pick those up during the sale, and this is beautiful on the skin. I really like this one a lot. So some really solid highlighters this month. That was a ton, but there was a lot of good ones this past month. I am wearing another new one today, but I can't say my thoughts on it yet because I'm not like completely obsessed, but we'll see. And then I do have just a couple of lippies to talk about. The first one is one of the Dior lipsticks that I picked up during the sale, and this is the Dior Rouge Matte Lipstick in the shade 314 Grand Ball, and I told you guys that I really wanted to pick up a Dior lipstick during the sale because I wanted to see what all the hype was about these lipsticks, and they are really pretty, and I feel like this is such a beautiful, like warm-toned everyday matte lipstick for me, and it's just such a beautiful shade. Like, I mean, it's perfect. I love this. So pretty, and it feels really nice on the lips, very comfortable. And then the other one is the Patrick Ta Oh She's Single lipstick, and then this one is, it just says it's the Patrick Ta lipstick in the shade Oh She's Single. This is such a gorgeous everyday nude shade. I'm completely obsessed with this one. It's just, I love these two tones, like, and they both go on really nicely. I think I might prefer the Patrick Ta formula over the Dior. This one does pull a little bit more on the lips though, but it's such a gorgeous color They're both really pretty, but I do find that the Patrick Ta one is slightly creamier than the Christian Dior, but the Dior is still a great formula too. So these are both really, really nice. And then the last lipstick I have to talk about, I don't really have any glosses to share because I did share the glosses I was loving last month in my favorites video, like the Tower 28, the Kaja one, and I think a couple of like lip oils from ColourPop maybe. I do have 2 glosses sitting in my drawer that I need to try, so I can't speak on if I love them or not yet, so no glosses this month. And then the last lipstick is the Revlon Colorstay Satin Ink Lipstick in the shade 001 Your Go-To. So obviously I had to get... oh, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm just sneezing. So I heard a lot of hype about these lipsticks, and a lot of people were saying how much they love these. So I really wanted to try one of them for myself, and I decided to pick up one of the nude shades. Obviously, since this is called Your Go-To, it's pretty much like an everyday like go-to lipstick. And the formula is so nice. It's very, very comfortable on the lips. It really does feel like a satin lipstick. It feels so comfortable and so nice on the lips. Very, very smooth formula. These are being hyped up for a reason. They're really nice on the lips. I also had picked up the Wet n Wild Mega Last Shine lipstick, but I decided to return that one and just keep this one because I don't need 10 million satin lipsticks, and plus that formula or something about it was like bad. I think it was sitting in Walgreens too long because it was like kind of disgusting. So I just decided to keep this one. I'm like, I'm not keeping that. It was gross. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it, you guys. I did want to try some new like drugstore lipsticks and stuff this month. So hopefully I'll be able to pick up a couple more at some point, but I'm pretty much on a no buy for myself right now because, again, I picked up a crap ton of stuff this past month, and I'm about to share like a huge haul with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed my favorites for this month. I love you guys. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram, CBW819, and I love you guys. Bye.